Jack drank himself to death.
Wouldn't be talking balls if there wasn't an ad playing in the background.
And I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move on without him. The songs howl like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.
I could just let that play out all night long, but I won't. Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, episode number 59, brought to you by the Outright Geekery Podcast Network at outrightgeekery.com. Also, we are live on the S&B Network on YouTube. Do us a favor, go ahead and smash that like button, share out the link. Let's grow the live chat. Let's have a good time. Let's talk a little Tennessee football. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Vols JP. What's up, everybody?
I'm Dauber. Let's get this started.
We are at Talkin VAWLS _pod on Twitter. You can search us at the Talkin VAWLS podcast on Facebook. That's all I got to say. I don't have any advertisements or any fun. It's AEW night. As you can tell, I'm too lazy to switch my office. We got to record. We got to get this done. And then we got to watch Chris Jericho change the universe. But, if anybody cares, I know some of you guys in the Talkin VAWLS live chat are wrestling fans and mentioned a wrestling podcast. We will be live right here on the SMB Network tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern time, talking about professional wrestling. That's all I'm going to say about it. Let's smash the like button. Let's get rolling. What's your mindset, guys? I don't feel like it's football season.
Well, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
Weather's still 90 degrees and my teams are trash, so.
What is with the 90-degree weather? My gosh, man. And my air conditioner is out in my car. And I'm like, it's close enough to fall. I'll just ride it out. I didn't know it was going to be hotter than the blazes of hell until December. So I'm just suffering in misery. It's the weather podcast.
Yeah. It is supposed to cool down, I think, though. That's what they said.
Oh, man. They're already talking about it in the live chat. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about Jeremy Banks, man. Everybody is heated and fired up. They are fired up.
I'd rather talk about football.
Well, we'll get there. You got to talk about it. My thing, because there's some positives that I want to take away from this whole ordeal. For those that don't know, why did this footage even leak?
In the words of Jeremy Pruitt,
this doesn't happen other places, but at Tennessee, it's all over the media.
The media put in a request for the video, and it was released.
Of course they did. But anyway, Jeremy Banks' video of his arrest was leaked 3:00 in the morning. This is what I didn't understand. They said he was pulled over for an illegal U-turn, and he had a warrant out for his arrest for failure to appear in court over an unpaid parking ticket. So was his license not suspended?
No.
I thought for some reason he had a suspended license.
I don't believe so.
I don't know enough about it to even comment on it. Honestly, I don't. I just know he was arrested and then
over
all that jazz.
At the end of the day, over an unpaid parking ticket.
Which I mean, pay it. I mean, pay it, dude. I mean, obviously, based on the video, he had the money because he's telling them other fellas to go get his ATM card and go withdraw it out of the ATM machine. So, I mean, it wasn't like he didn't have the money, so just pay it. I mean, but at the end of the day, you got to remember he's 19, 20 years old or whatever he is. So, I mean, that's the problem, but still, I mean, just being ignorant, just stupid comment, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Pruitt's going to be absolutely, raked over the coals by this because, he's standing by him and saying, that they've dealt with it internally, but I mean, he's talking about, causing harm to a police officer. Just stupid.
Lewis Jolly says he needs to shut his mouth. I think that's the key.
Yeah, he does.
What he said. The positives for me, though, that I'm taking away from it is the way that Jeremy Pruitt handled it. Forget Pruitt taking heat. the conversation he had with the cops, I told you guys when we were talking about it, what was it, last night? He seemed like a concerned parent more than he did a football coach, and he's looking at it from this kid has nobody. He's lost both of his parents, right? His grandfather raised him, I think he said, and his grandfather's no longer alive.
Just recently passed away.
So you're dealing with a 19-year-old kid, like you said. Now, that doesn't excuse what he said in the back of the cop car. That's ridiculous. He's shut up, whatever. But from Pruitt's mindset, I think he handled it well. And he thought it was taken care of.
Yeah, that's what I got out of this was Pruitt's understanding was the matter had been dealt with, and I don't know if that was on Banks that he didn't follow through with handling the situation. But Pruitt said, hey, the phone rings at 3 a.m. You're going to answer it. So the first part of his conversation, and that's the thing. If you guys are criticizing Pruitt for this, you need to make sure you're getting the entire video and not just the snippets.
What Banks said,
yeah, the snippets from certain media outlets that are using just certain parts of the video to plug their story and support what they're saying. But I tell you what, the big thing out of this for Banks is the things he said. I mean, but then again, you've got to look at he is a 19-year-old kid. How many of us have said or did things when we were younger that we regret? How many of us?
I never said anything like that.
No, I've never said that, Dauber. Never have.
I know, but it's just it's a shame. And I mean, Pruitt came out and said, we need to get this guy some help. We need to, use this as a teaching point for all of our kids to know what they need to do in situations, when they need to be out, how they need to deal with stuff. And I certainly I do like that from the coach, because that is something that you need to know, that your coach has your back, but then again, your coach needs to be there to support you, and just like the whole thing. He needs that help.
Louis Jolly says he needs counseling, and that's again, it goes back to the way Pruitt handled it. I like the way Pruitt is handling the situation. The way he talked about Banks is what I like. You guys are ready to talk football, but they were running down Banks in the live chat to start the show. We had to go there. We had to talk about it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it sounds like that Pruitt's handled it internally, and he's going to keep him on the team. So,
and listen, before Facebook and Twitter and all this social media stuff, stuff like this didn't come out.
No, that's exactly right.
Things were handled internally. You'd run at practice until you puked. You'd do whatever that they'd send you to an anger management or to a sensitivity class or something. But you didn't hear about things like this 20 years ago.
You're exactly right. Yeah. And I dare say, unfortunately, that's probably not the first time that there's been a student athlete down there that said that to a cop.
Yeah.
At some, maybe not that exact, where I come from, but what he actually said. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all. It probably happens every single year, but well, maybe not every single year, but this is not the first time that it's ever happened. I mean, it's not. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a bad look, obviously, especially after the Bryce Thompson deal, with all that. I mean, here we are, probably the worst team in program history, and we got two guys that are, talking about, harming other people and stuff. I mean, it's just, it is a bad look, especially when you're not winning football games. I mean, I heard today it was on the front page of Fox News.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, the national media is running with it, which you knew that they would.
Somebody said in the live chat, TMZ and ESPN are both running it.
Yeah, it was on TMZ last night, I saw.
It's like you said, Tennessee, possibly the worst team in school history, so you're already the laughing stock of the SEC. All you need is this added. It's just icing on the cake. I was looking at some stuff on Georgia and ended up on their Rivals website, and one of their articles, it was something like Tennessee preview and Tennessee jokes was the name of their article, something along those lines. So that those guys over on that border, they're just laughing, man. There is no fear. They're gonna sit back. They're gonna eat good food and drink good beer and watch their football team dominate Tennessee on Saturday night. And there, I guarantee you, there's no fear or concern at all in their fan base.
Well, no, would you? I mean, my gosh, look at us. I mean, we're pathetic. Oh,
So what do we do Saturday night? What do we do? What are you looking for? I mean, are you just sitting there miserable the whole game?
If I'm Pruitt and that coaching staff, I'm trying to do the similar thing that Kiffin did in 09 versus Bama and Florida. I'm trying to shorten the game, because at this point in time, in my opinion, Pruitt needs to. We don't need another 45-0 loss or even worse. I mean, 24-0 looks a lot better than 45-0. So, in my opinion, you need to try to somehow shorten the game. If it was me, I do not expect this to happen at all because that's not the way that offenses run anymore. But I wouldn't snap the ball unless there was, 2 or 3 seconds on the play clock every single snap. I wouldn't. But now I do not expect that. But I'm a firm believer that if we come out and we're trying to run tempo and we have a bunch of drives that are 3 and out that takes 1 minute and 15 seconds off the clock total, we will get absolutely ran out of Neyland Stadium. I mean, there may not be enough zeros numbers on the scoreboard because, I mean, that's so far talent gap that these two teams have right now. It's so far. So, I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, I would try to somehow shorten the game, limit the number of possessions that Georgia has. Now, how do you do that? That's easier said than done because I have no confidence in all that this team will be able to run on Georgia. The only really success that Tennessee has seemed to have this year is, stretch plays running off tackle. And I do not see us getting the edge against this Georgia defense. I don't.
Got a $5 super chat from Hopkins Lax fan. Thank you so much for the super chat and the support. Says, how sweet will it taste if the Vols win? Will JP, the people's champ, sing Rocky Top live here if they win? I hope so. JP?
Guarantee you that I'll sing it. You all might need some earmuffs because I'm telling you, I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. So you probably wouldn't want me singing, but dang Skippy, if the Vols win Saturday night, I'll sing it 2 or 3 times.
How sweet would that feel? But no, I have no confidence. None at all. I'm just hoping they don't. I'm like you, don't get blown out. I don't have confidence that they can put together a game plan like Lane Kiffin did against Alabama.
Here's the thing. I just the stretch of the next 3 games or so, I'm hoping we don't have anybody get hurt because I'm hoping we can maybe salvage the back end of the schedule and finish strong. And
for me, the season starts next week with Mississippi State.
Yeah.
That's when that game is a must win. If there is any chance, and you can laugh all you want, I still believe there's a chance. If there is any chance this team goes bowling, they have to win next week. They have to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have to.
Yeah. I mean, and it's going to be a back into a bowl game. But at this point, yeah, I mean.
James Gentry says he'll come on and play Rocky Top with the Talkin VAWLS sticker flying on his guitar.
There you go, James.
That's awesome. Fun to me. I think we should probably make that happen. If Tennessee beats Georgia, that's what needs to happen. James will come on and play.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be hilarious. Les Wadley said in the live chat a little earlier, any chance Georgia can checker Neyland Stadium? No, absolutely no chance. Not going to happen.
Now, they're going to have a lot of fans. I mean, they'll have a lot of fans, but no. There's no way you could do that. There's no way.
That's nothing but trash talk.
Yeah.
If I was Pruitt, if I was Jeremy Pruitt, I would have taken the design for Checker Neyland, and I would have put red and black on it, and I would have stuck it up on the wall in the locker room. Now, does that do anything? Can you motivate this team?
Not when you're 20-some point dogs at home. I mean, that right there tells you, what the talent gap is. Yeah. I mean, you hope that Tennessee comes out and at least gives them a fight and just don't lay down. I mean, you hope that maybe that motivates them to do that. But at some point in time, the talent's going to take over, and I mean, I just don't see any way possible that Tennessee is able to hang on and even make it a game in the fourth quarter. I just don't.
That's why they brings up another good point. Les, you're on a roll tonight, buddy. He says, I believe the bye week helped this team. Tennessee can beat Mississippi State. They are worse than we are. The only problem with the bye week for me is that Georgia's coming off a bye week too.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're going to be rested.
Yeah, it's kind of a wash at that point. Yeah. Didn't Tennessee come off a bye week when they beat Auburn? Am I right about that?
I think so. Because that was after that Georgia game, wasn't it? We had the bye week, and then we played Auburn.
I'm pretty sure they came off a bye week, and they dialed up a great game plan. But what's that mean when Georgia's doing the same thing? They're probably sitting back watching film and just
laughing at us. Look at these guys. We can't even line up right,
What do we do if they don't line up right? We just sit back and watch them do it and shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I've been talking to some people, and I'm like, do you just pretty much just sell out to try to stop the run and risk playing man to man in the secondary and from throwing over top of their heads?
With what we've seen in the secondary thus far, I don't like that option.
And then on top of that, they're banged up too.
Yeah. I know, but
Burrell's banged up, and he's looked not very good anyway.
But I mean,
that terribly, because I wanted to say he's looked awful.
Do you not have? I mean, but is there any hope at all that that we can play with a nickel defense and actually try to stop their run? I mean, I just don't see that happening. I mean, it probably wouldn't matter if we had 22 players on defense. We probably wouldn't be able to stop their running game.
That's the problem. Is it's not just the running game. I mean, they got one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the SEC. But they average over 250 freaking rushing yards a game, man. And they don't have to throw it.
They may go for 300 Saturday night against us.
I mean, they were talking on BallQuest about being surprised at how good of a job Tennessee did stopping the run against Florida. But guess what? This Georgia running game is a lot better than Florida. Florida's offensive line was a weak spot for them. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me I'm pretty negative tonight, but it's hard for me to take positives out of that Florida game.
Yeah. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, it was a horrible performance. But I mean, all of that starts with quarterback play, though. I mean, every bit of that, because the defense actually played halfway decent until the fourth quarter, really.
We got 90 people hanging out in the live chat. Do us a favor, if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and smash that like button. If you don't care, you can share out the link to Twitter, Facebook, wherever you get social with your media. Let's grow this live chat. I was kind of curious to see how many of you guys showed up tonight, man. And maybe it's just my mindset. I'm just down. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because of the bye week and we didn't podcast Saturday. I don't know. Michael James wants to know what time is the game and what network. 7:00 on ESPN.
I was hoping a 5 a.m. kick on PBS.
I find it funny they put this game on at 7:00. Just go ahead and embarrass Tennessee.
Well, I mean, they're going to do that for Georgia, though. I mean, they're ranked number 2, 3 in the nation,
3, whatever.
3.
And honestly, from what I've seen, I mean, I think Georgia's probably the most complete football team in college football right now. Whenever you look at it top to bottom, I mean, where's their weakness? Where's it at? I mean, they got a stout defense. Secondary is tremendous. The offensive line's probably one of the best in the nation, if not the best. Like you said, a great quarterback, running backs. I mean, the only thing you could probably say is maybe their wide receivers aren't experienced or whatnot, but trust me, they've got they got speed all over the field.
Their punter shanked a couple against Notre Dame.
Oh,
They
so
probably won't have to punt.
There's yeah.
But he
they
probably
won't even travel a punter.
He probably won't even see the field. So
yeah, I mean, he probably won't even travel with the team.
Unless they try a drop kick.
Yeah. It's so. I mean, honestly, I mean, where is their weakness there? I just don't. I just don't see any. So yeah, I mean, I see no chance at all. I mean, absolutely no chance at all. And that's why I said, if I'm that coaching staff, I'm trying to find some way to shorten that game, limit the number of possessions that Georgia has, try to milk that clock as much as I possibly can. Because otherwise, they are going to get absolutely ran out of the stadium.
Let me throw this out here. So we got Chaney in the offseason. Is that a benefit for us or for Georgia?
I think it's a wash.
I don't think it really matters because the talent gap is so huge. You know.
Okay.
I mean, you would think that Georgia has a pretty good idea of what Chaney wants to do, and
but then vice versa, you think
exactly.
Chaney's seen the defense.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's.
But when you got talent galore like Georgia does, and then we don't have that talent. I mean, I just don't see how that's going to benefit us any.
I mean, and that's. I agree. I don't think it'll make that much of an impact on the game. But
even if the talent gap was closer, I don't know how much of an impact it makes. I mean, these teams, they have so much film on each other. They have you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know that it really makes that big of an impact.
Yeah. I mean, I don't either, because I just don't think that we have the talent to even make that a difference, honestly. So it is what it is, fellas. I mean, it is the absolute bottom of the barrel. I mean, I can remember, 10, 15 years ago, I mean, absolutely laughing at Georgia, I mean, just laughing at them because, they couldn't beat us. It was rare that they would beat us. I mean, we would, we shattered their season so many times. And, they always thought that I can remember Don and talking about, how this was his team that was going to take Tennessee down, and then, we'd end up embarrassing them and beating them. So, I mean, it stinks that here we are sitting here and, the worst team in the SEC probably. And that's the sad part. I just don't know where the end in sight is, to be honest with you.
The sad part is that they're to the level of Alabama now. It feels like Alabama used to be the one game that here lately it's like, they have no chance. Even Florida during the streak, when they would get ready to play Florida, I would have confidence. If I punched my computer one more time, I would have confidence that, they could beat that team, or they'll have a chance. Just stick around. They'll have a chance to win. I have absolutely zero faith that they win Saturday. None. I'm like, I just think it's a blowout. And golly, when it's starting to, there was an Alabama, now there's a Georgia. How many teams are we going to add to this list before something turns around? This program's cursed.
You can add Georgia, Bama, and Florida. I mean, pretty much. I mean, those are pretty much three given blowouts.
I'll still go ahead and say Florida sucks. They can just eat me alive in the comments.
Lord, we got comments galore talking about it. I mean, I think Auburn absolutely just wipes the field with them Saturday. I mean, I think they absolutely destroy Florida.
Auburn has looked pretty legit.
Yeah. That defense is top notch.
The West is tough. Alabama, Auburn, LSU. I'm glad we've got some weaker West opponents this year.
St. Louis says we need solid players, and that is fact. That is the truth. In the circular conversation that we have, what's the movie? It's a circle. It's round. It's a circle. Is that on the Hangover where they say this conversation just goes round and around and around? How do you get good players when you can't win? And I was just talking about this with somebody the other day. You know, you can sell early playing time for so long, and then that goes out the window. Eventually, a coaching staff has to show the ability to win. And last year, I thought we were seeing that with the Auburn win. And then you drop games like Vanderbilt, then you turn around this year and you lose to Georgia State. At what point can you recruit good football players when you're not showing progress on the field with what you have? I don't – it's tough. You want me to answer my own question?
I mean,
want to come on a podcast with me? These two guys are useless.
I mean, that's the concern that I have. I mean, that's a concern. You know, I was listening to Swain, I think, there on Friday morning, getting ready to go to work, and he was, you know, I didn't catch it all, but from what I gather, he was talking about, you know, the 16 and 17 recruiting classes and how basically, you know, that we have nobody that's really, you know, contributing or that's even on the team or anything like that. And, you know, my question is if we continue to lose these games like this and, you know, we end up having to let Pruitt go and, you know, next year or the year after, then it's going to be the same thing in 2021 or 2022. We're going to be sitting there talking about the 19 and 20, you know, the 19 class and the 20 class. And that's the reason why insert name of up-and-comer coach that's now the head coach is struggling at Tennessee. So, you know.
Michael James says, guys, it's only the second year. Come on. I agree, man. I agree with you 100%.
Can't lose to Georgia State.
But this fan base is already up in arms. There are people wanting people fired, JP. There are people that want heads to roll. They want changes made.
Again, I've stated it on here numerous times. The last thing that we need is a new head coach. We need Jeremy Pruitt to be successful. But, you know, I'm a realist. And when I look at the results that he's been able to accomplish, especially, you know, to end the season and to start this season, I've got serious concerns. And it all starts with losing these games and being able to recruit because, you know, you're just never going to reach where that, you know, us as fans, and you hope that administration wants to go, and that's a team that can compete for championships. You're just not going to be able to do it when you're losing to teams like Georgia State, BYU. I'm sorry. I mean, you're just not going to be able to get to talent. I mean, we've already seen what's happened to the potential of this recruiting class with the way that this season started. I mean, you know, we had these all these 5 stars that we were thinking that we were going to have an opportunity for, and basically now they've just told us to go kick rocks. You know,
David Newcomb says, "Stop with the Pruitt firing. Stop
again." I do not want Jeremy Pruitt fired. I'd give anything for Cornbread to be successful. That's what we need. We need Jeremy Pruitt to be successful.
Half of this live chat hates you. And then half of them are like Dayon Kuberson. Sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. He says, for $4.99 super chat, thank you so much for the support. We appreciate that. I'm the COO of the JP fan club. The club has voted that JP will sing Rocky Top if the Vols win and give out 100 free T-shirts. 100 hey, free that's just all together there. So the JP fan club will give out 100 free T-shirts is the way I'm reading that. Yep. So,
and as far as I know, that Dayon is the only member of the JP fan club. So
I don't know, man.
All those 100 shirts are on you, brother.
It's like pro wrestling. They say make them love you or make them hate you, but never be irrelevant. And JP, I think you're there. They love you or they hate you. Me and Dauber, nobody talks about us. I'm just the guy that brings the show in.
I mean, honestly, though, I mean, I do not want Pruitt fired. I don't. That's the last thing that I want as a diehard Tennessee fan is for them to start over again. But gosh darn it.
Lonnie Alval Williams.
Oh, my God. He
says, I'm in the fan club, too. If you're in the JP fan, if you're in the JP fan club, put a 1 in the live chat, just the number 1. If you're in the anti-JP fan club, put a number 2 in the live chat. Let's see how this works out.
Maybe
JP, there's a reason you've got a bag on your head on the shirt. So show them the shirt, Dauber. The shirt's shipped out this week. check these out, dude. They look so cool. They looked when I opened it, I was like, this shirt is even better in person. Look at all the ones. They love you. They love you in the live chat, man. I told you.
Thank you all.
They just
I don't know why they love me.
Here. They just like to fuss at you when they don't agree with you. Nothing but ones flowing through the live chat.
Bentley with a 2.
There's a 2. Oh,
that doesn't surprise me, especially after that text that text message war we had during the Florida game. So
I don't think anybody wants to be a part of the text message wars that we have.
Oh Lord!
At some point, you just got to stop responding.
Yeah,
Dauber's a 2. We're just jealous, is all.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to talk about the article that I sent you? Sent you guys there midweek from Rocky Top Insider that kind of went through the roster. Now, when I read through that, I mean, I realized things were bad, but I didn't realize they were that bad. And for those of you that want to look at it, can you throw that up on the screen, Boogie?
Oh crap! You wouldn't put me on the spot in the middle of the podcast or anything, would you?
You still have it, or you want me to text it to you?
Send it to my Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
We'll pull that up and we'll go through it. While Dauber's doing that, I'll just plug the t-shirts for lack of better time. Like I said, the cartoon shirt has gone ahead. It's been shipped out. So the campaign has ended, but as soon as the new shirt is ordered, they'll fire back up and go back out. So check it out. The links are all in the description for that. And I'm still waiting on the link, Dauber.
It's going through the interwebs.
So I found out right quick while you're doing that. I found out why I never got my Egghead shirt.
What do you mean?
Did you not order one?
I didn't order one.
Well, you can still order it. It just won't ship for about 3 weeks. That's the only thing I don't like about this website. But at the same time, I get it.
Yeah. I started going through my emails from Bonfire, and I was like, "Where's that thing at? Where's it? Why don't I have it?"
Well, that's weird because you told me that you were going to order another one, and I was like, "No, don't order." And I talked you out of it, and now you didn't even get one at all.
Well, I ordered 2 from the first shirt, the Talkin VAWLS logo shirt, but
yeah.
I don't know why I didn't order one from the Egghead. I mean, I meant to. I don't know why I didn't. Forgot all about it. I don't know.
All right, so here's the article, RockyTopInsider.com. Dauber, you want to walk us through this thing?
Yeah,
Butch was a used car salesman in St. Louis, and he absolutely was. Sorry, I just saw that.
So first off, NCAA rules, you can have 85 scholarship athletes. To start off with, we are down to 77. And then if you look at that right there that's on the screen, it's bottom heavy with guys that don't have experience. Even on those juniors and redshirt juniors, I think you're like half a dozen that are their first year at Tennessee. And if you scroll on down, we've still got 32 recruits that were signed by Butch, 45 that were signed by Pruitt. And I'm on the boat that the culture needs to be completely changed, and that's going to require the roster to be completely turned over. We not that these guys that are on the team still that Butch brought in aren't helping us. But we need to get those guys out and start. I mean, they did it with the staff, from the equipment guys to the trainers to the nutrition. All that, there wasn't anybody retained from the previous staff. So I think for things to change, you're going to have to see Pruitt's handprints and marks on the entire team.
Sure. And we talk, I mean, again, it goes back to that same conversation. We've talked about this till we're blue in the face. You got to give him time. What did we say before the season? 5 years, 4 to 5 years to flip this roster. So we know that. Everybody knows that. We can talk about it till we're blue in the face. We understand he's got to flip the roster. Now, this is where we get yelled at and people start hating me and JP and saying that we want to fire Pruitt. That doesn't excuse losing to Georgia State.
Absolutely not.
That doesn't excuse the way they lost to BYU. That doesn't excuse losing to Vanderbilt and not getting fired up to play that game when a bowl game is on the line. That's where my problems are. I understand this is a process. I understand he's got to turn the roster, but on the flip side, you can't lose to freaking Georgia State. That's where I think the problems come in, and you have to, like JP does all the time, you got to question him. And can Pruitt get the job done? I don't know if he can or not. I hope he can.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it the beginning of the year, even before the season started. The jury's still out on Pruitt. I mean, 1 year into his head coaching career, and now one year in four games, and we can't make a decision right now. The play needs to be better, and the play at quarterback needs to be better. And I know that's even through the bye week, that's still been a hot topic. Who's gonna start? Who's gonna play?
Well, there's some rumblings coming from former players saying that Maurer's starting.
That's what they're saying. There's more and more talk as the week goes on that he's in line to get significant snaps, if not even start. I mean,
my thing is this, and this is what I say every time there's a quarterback controversy. If they start Maurer, don't freaking take him off that field after just a handful of series. Right. You got to give him a quarter. You got to give him a chance. You can't, you went 3 and out, I'm going to pull him and put Garantano back in. You can't do that. You got to ride with him and let him play.
You can't have a quarterback playing looking over their shoulder, worrying about if I overthrow a ball, if I misread a play, am I getting yanked? And
that's why. Sorry, go ahead, Doug.
I don't think Maurer played like that when he came in against Florida. That was the one thing that I did like. And I talked with a couple buddies the other day. Yeah, a couple of his balls were bad balls. A couple were bad reads, but you're talking about a true freshman, first playing time on the road in the SEC. Dude was amped up. I mean, there's no way around that. Like Boogie said, he's got to have some time to acclimate if he gets in there. Time to settle those nerves, to get in a rhythm. And we'll see what the kid can do. I don't know. Got a lot of chatter in the live chat going on about Winky. Come
on, say it, man. Winky the Pooh. That's Pecan in the live chat. Winky the Pooh.
I touched on it last week. His stint with the Rams, Eric Dickerson, the Hall of Fame running back, publicly criticized and questioned his coaching ability. So, we've said all along this year, 4 games in, JG has regressed. Is that any relation to Winky at quarterback coach?
Who knows? I mean, I don't think we can know that. Could be. I think somebody's going to be the fall man. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one that gets the axe at the end of the year.
Oh,
because that's definitely yeah. I mean, that's definitely, and
his contract expires this year too.
They're talking in the live chat about Garantano going to Rutgers anyway,
right?
Which if I was Coach Pruitt and I thought that at all, he would not see the field again. I'd put him on the bench and just ride with Maurer. And you guys know I'm not a Garantano guy. I just don't see anything in Maurer that showed me otherwise. If you're playing for this season, now if you're playing for the future and this is a wash, we're done. No chance we can go bowling. None at all. Absolutely no chance. JP, with your eyes wide down there. This season's over. Let's just go ahead and ride or die with Maurer.
But
Lonnie Alval Williams is listening to Talking Balls and killing deer.
Golly.
I hope you get one. I'd love to have some deer meat. I don't hunt. I just need friends that hunt successfully.
I believe they said there was a doe down in the backyard. I thought I saw that go by in the chat.
Tennessee football is to the level that they're listening to Talking Balls and telling
and
hunting
shooting
stories.
deer.
That's multitasking. That is multitasking.
They were talking about my Del Murphy jersey back there.
The Murph.
anything but Tennessee football. Pecan says Maurer seems energetic though. That's why what I like about the kid.
Yeah, I mean,
when he comes in, he gets me fired up, and I'm sitting in the recliner.
Well,
that's what burns me up about Garantano. I mean, he's just like a statue over there. I mean, he shows no emotion, and he is not a leader. I don't care what anybody says. The guy is not a leader.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's not. And personally, I think that if Maurer starts Saturday, I think that you can just forget Garantano for the rest of the year because he is so mentally weak that there's no way. It's up here in his head. He doesn't have it. That if they did have to put him back in, to me, he would be an absolute more of a train wreck than what he already is.
I just don't feel like he used to be that way. It just feels like it's
that Missouri hit.
That's we have talked about it multiple times. He has not been the same quarterback after getting the crap beat out of him all year.
Gun shy? I don't know.
It's and I'm going to go back to the overthrow of Woods Anderson in the Florida game. He had a perfect pocket, was still dancing around, didn't get his feet right, and completely. It's like a golfer shanking a ball. I mean, he just. For a starting SEC quarterback with the experience that he has, that should be a throw that he can make in his sleep. You should be able to wake him up at 2 a.m, put him out on the field, and say, "Hit that pass." And I don't have faith that he could do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. I mean, he's just not mentally. I mean. As a quarterback, you need somebody that can get in guys' face, that can get their respect. And Garantano has never showed that. I mean, he never has. And then, last year, his numbers were pretty decent and stuff. But but whatever happened after that, after he got knocked out against Missouri, I mean, he has not been the same. And I don't know if that's just affected him and he's just, he's kind of hesitant and just kind of just throwing it just to be throwing it and he's scared or what. I don't know. But the biggest problem that I have with him is I do not think that he is capable enough to lead this football team as a leader and get the respect of his teammates in order to help this team try to reach a bowl game this year. So if I'm Pruitt, and I'm the coaches down there, I'm trying something else. I mean, the guy is a redshirt junior. This is his third year that he has started for the University of Tennessee. If he hadn't got it by now, I'm not for sure that he's ever going to get it. So, and it's obvious that for whatever reason, he has regressed from last year to this year, whether it's coaching, whether it's, a different offensive coordinator. I don't know what it is, but I still go back to the interview after the Georgia State game. And he actually had the gall to sit there and talk about that he thought that he done some good things. And I am like, holy smokes.
Absolutely. A leader would have said, listen, we lost to Georgia State. It doesn't matter how I perform.
My play was horrible because we lost.
But I'm the quarterback, and it all comes back to me.
Yeah. I mean, did you all see the video of Jalen Hurts still in his football pants inside the darn weight room Saturday after they waxed whoever that they waxed, and he was in there working out with a medicine ball or some kind of exercise ball. And,
we talked about him when
I
they
mean,
blew somebody out, and he's saying he didn't play good enough, and he has to play. He throws like 12 touchdowns in a game.
Right there is the difference. You know, I mean,
I agree.
That's it. I mean, and none of us know whether Brian Maurer is going to be any better or not. We don't, but you know, why keep on going back to that same well over and over and over and over again when obviously there's no water in that well? There is none. There's none. You know?
Some people, when Maurer comes in, they start screaming to put 2 back in. So there is that.
Well, I mean, you know, it's frustration.
Emotional. I get it.
I mean,
were emotional.
It's frustration, you know, at that point in time. I mean, it's just like you're so upset because you're like, here we go again. We just, you know.
I think you mean me. I think you mean I'm so upset.
I mean, I was upset.
That's what I mean.
Game.
You.
Like I said, you know, if you watched that game and you weren't upset, then I mean, golly. Of course, we all on the known because I mean it's Florida and Tennessee. We know we all know he's going to get waxed.
Just like everything else, man. It's the way it happened. Good gosh. Pecan, let me hit this super chat real quick. Pecan with a $5 super chat. Thank you guys so much for the support. Each and every week, guys. You flood in the super chats. We appreciate it. For anybody new hanging out in the live chat, you guys ask a ton of questions. I've seen some good ones. Just can't get to all of them. Super chat's how you can get your comment read on air. I'm not shilling for money. I'm just dropping facts. I love that you guys are interacting with each other at the same time, too. Pecan says, let's go back to the shoe incident. That would have been Dobbs. That whole O-line would have been in a scuffle. That shows where the respect is at. I agree 100%. I don't remember if it was one of the writers on VolQuest was talking about that they felt Maurer has the team behind his back. And Garantano just doesn't. And that shoe incident says it all. Nobody cared. I don't remember which lineman was there. Just kind of looked over there and, you know, JG's pointing and crying about it. But you're right. If it was Dobbs, somebody would have been fighting.
Yeah. Let's see. James Barger brings up a good question. Should this be Sharon Jones' team, the QB that transferred? The one that was at the Battle of Bristol pumping everybody up when we were down. I mean, that's not necessarily just him, but you look at the guys that come into Tennessee and then leave and have success. Peterman, Ferguson, Riley Ferguson going to Memphis, Dormady at Central Michigan now.
The thing about that is they all had different coaches. It's like,
that may be the key to it there. No consistency, but it's weird that these guys can't find the field at Tennessee and leave, and then boom, they're you know on a national stage. Lonnie
Williams' wife is now driving him to the processor because there was a deer down in the backyard and he wants her to drive so he can still type. This is amazing play-by-play. I wish I'd been following the whole thing.
But there's, I mean, Sherian Jones, I mean, he transferred. Where did he go to? Colorado, and then he transferred back, and then he went somewhere, and he lost. I mean, he couldn't even compete against, you know, at some directional school. So I don't think Sherian Jones.
But my point over that was look at the other guys that have left and couldn't find the field at Tennessee, but then they leave and have success at other places. Peterman plays his way, you know, to getting a spot on an NFL roster.
Yeah, and you know that was with Chaney as his offensive coordinator at Pitt.
Yeah,
you know, I mean that's what's so surprising about Garantano. I mean, we all thought going into the season that, you know, that Chaney was going to be a huge improvement and that, you know, that Garantano was really going to turn the corner. Maybe he needs to go back to his old name. You know, maybe Garantano is the problem.
Maybe Garantano is how you pronounce his name, and he got knocked silly and forgot how to pronounce his own name.
But, you know, I mean, and I know that's silly, but that's just another thing that doesn't make any sense with him. I mean, it's just odd. I mean, why would you go 4 years down there?
That's a guy that has no confidence.
Probably
you ever been
so.
around somebody that's you say something and they're scared to speak up or they don't want to correct you? Heck, I'm like that a lot of times.
Well, yeah.
But I think if I was the quarterback for the University of Tennessee and my name is being said incorrectly, I think I would have told somebody at some point.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
Like
it's just strange. I mean, yeah, I mean, it just it doesn't make any. But again, I mean, I think all of that just goes into his psyche and his, whatever. I mean, I'm not a psychologist by no means, but
You're not.
No, but I can tell you right now, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have the it factor, and you got to have that as a quarterback. You have to have that it factor to be a successful quarterback.
But you all brought up the shoe incident. And I've said it before. I'm going to go back to the first time we saw him on the sidelines in a Tennessee uniform, pouting because he's not getting in the game like Butch promised him against Georgia Tech. Sitting on the sidelines in Atlanta, pouting. The cameras caught him multiple times, and that's just not what a leader does.
No, it's not.
And back to what I was talking about earlier with Pruitt getting his guys in and changing the culture. Saw something today, sent it to you guys. But Batuli FaceTimed old Hank T, and he was still in the film room at 9:30, 10 o'clock on the off week, running over film. We're talking about a true freshman leading the team in tackles, took on a whole lot, running the defense with Batuli out. I mean, if you can't see the glimpses of some of the guys that Pruitt has brought in and the hope for him recruiting guys like that and actually flipping the roster and changing the culture to guys who, instead of sitting in their room or being out on the strip or doing whatever, they're in the film room, they're in the weight room, they're getting better, they're checking themselves, they're watching themselves in film. He said he was evaluating his stance, his technique. I mean, that's the type of players that we need to bring in, leaders and winners.
And you're 100% correct, but that's the problem with the start of this season, because I mean that's the problem, because if Pruitt finishes 7-5 or 8-4 this year, maybe that we can sign some more of those kids.
That's
but now we're on the outside looking in, and we're I mean, I think that we're probably going to be lucky to hold on to who we have committed, and then we're going to have to fill the class with some second tier options, because our number one options are going to laugh at us, because they're going to be like, well, no, I'm not coming to Tennessee.
And that does nothing to close that gap.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, you hope that, that they're better players than the 16 and 17 class has panned out to be, and you certainly hope that, that Pruitt and that coaching staff can develop them more. And you hope that maybe the strength and conditioning, having that, not changing a strength conditioning coach every single year, that those things can help. But again, that's why that, I was saying at the beginning of the season that, in my opinion, it was going to be, 5 or 6 years before we could start, thinking about competing with the likes of Georgia and Bama and LSU and those type of teams.
But back to that circular conversation again.
I know
something that I don't think we talk about enough in this conversation is their ability to evaluate talent. You have to be able to evaluate talent. Can you get more out of a 3-star? Are your 4 and 5 stars are they going to perform like you expect them to? That's something we don't really talk about a lot, is being able to evaluate talent and get in on guys that may not be getting offers from Georgia or an Alabama or a Clemson.
Right.
I think that could be key to turning this thing around too. Guys, at 7:55, we're going about an hour tonight because Boogie's got to watch a little all elite wrestling on TNT. For those of you that weren't here earlier, I got a podcast tomorrow, 10 o'clock right here on the SB Network. We're going to be talking about pro wrestling. I know some of you guys were interested in it and talking about it in the comments section, so check it out. We're going to be talking about the debut episode of All Elite Wrestling. What's Chris Jericho changed the universe? But there's 119 of you here. There's 45 of you that have liked this video, and
Come on, people,
it
like
breaks my heart. I would like just one time to see 100 thumbs up. I'm challenging you guys because I don't think you have the effort and the energy in you to give me 100 thumbs up. But we can try. We can try. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Before we get out of here, we got to make some predictions. Dauber, are you giving away any stickers this week, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I've got a couple that I'll give away. I will shoot those guys some messages for the pics and stories that they sent us. So we'll keep it short and sweet. But yeah, appreciate everybody sharing stories and pictures and everything on the bye week and making a little bit of.
Somebody gave me a thumbs down for that speech I just gave.
He's
Sorry.
always a hater.
Sorry.
Sorry, well, that was me because you interrupted me.
Well, you better go fix it. I can mute you and take you off this podcast.
No, but yeah, we appreciate all the interaction that you guys have with us, from the live chat to jumping in afterwards and putting comments. We try to go back throughout the week and respond to those and have conversations because it is so hard to keep up with the live chats. So yeah, I'll shoot out some messages, get some more stickers in. If you guys want stickers, we are. I forgot. I am going to do a contest for the Georgia game, so it is going to be.
Wait, you're going to announce that now or Saturday? Now, no.
I'm going to do it now.
I do too many podcasts. My head's spinning.
We are going to do total rushing yards for Tennessee.
Oh, I thought you was going to say Georgia.
No, total rushing yards for Tennessee versus Georgia.
You made me laugh and then I almost burped in the microphone. All right, you got to come back and leave a comment after the video post. So as soon as we finish, it'll process. Then you can come back in and leave your comment for rushing yards.
Yep. So yeah, I'll shoot out messages for the winners from last week, and this week's is total rushing yards. Listen to Boogie, guys. You got to come back after we finish and leave it in the comments.
I will say you guys are sticking it to that one dude that put the thumbs down. We're up to 67 likes, so you guys are awesome. Keep hitting that thumbs up. But as Troy Lee said, I think it was Troy Lee, only press it once. If he presses it twice, it disappears.
Hey, we got a bunch of 5-star hearts.
We're champions of life. You know how sick and tired I get of hearing that? Oh my gosh.
I mean, look what ESPN did. They had the Lady Vols logo on the darn schedule for Saturday.
We're up to 71 likes. You guys are awesome. If I cry about it enough,
Boogie, cry, shed a tear.
You come through for me. I appreciate it. Let's do some predictions for Tennessee, Georgia. I may cry doing this. Dauber, what do you got?
Man, -23. Probably true.
Oh God, it might be close. I may just want a sticker.
I said last week that if we would have went into Neyland on the bye week and started playing last week, we still wouldn't win. And you know, I didn't see any scores across the ticker for Tennessee scoring when Georgia wasn't there last Saturday. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think Georgia. I think they hit at least 40 points. I'm going to go 45. I'm going to say 13. 45-13.
2 field goals and a special teams touchdown. Dauber, what do you or JP? What do you got?
Lord. 48-3. Samaglia kicks a field goal probably in the third quarter. Safe face.
I would give a big speech like I did for the Florida game and this fake prediction that Tennessee's going to win, but there's no chance. Oh, talking wrestling, old Vince McMahon's theme song might come on in the middle of the game. No chance in hell. I'm saying Georgia 41, Tennessee 10. They find a way to score. Look at Robert Craig coming in right behind me with a 42-10 prediction.
You all had that plan.
Saying 41-10.
Let's us three do rushing yard predictions. Not that we're going to give ourselves a sticker, but
I say
total rushing yards for Tennessee.
I say Tennessee rushes for 65 yards combined.
I'm going to say 37.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Is who's going to keep up with this? Because I'll forget what I said.
I'm writing them down right now.
Okay.
I'm going to go with I'm going to say 54.
That's 3 embarrassing predictions. And Georgia averages what? 250 rushing yards a game.
I think they hit.
They
300.
go over 300. Yeah.
I think they go over 300.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all. 77 thumbs up. You guys are awesome. We almost got to 100. You stuck it to that dude that thought he was going to give me a thumbs down, though. Usually the more I harp on it and do this little bit, I guess it annoys people because it gets more thumbs down after the fact. But I don't care. I like having fun with you guys hanging out in the live chat. Wookie's here. Oh, Wookie's on DMT. I thought Wookie was in the live chat. I guess that's going to wrap it up for this episode. What are we going to tailgate Saturday or no? 7 o'clock kick. What do you guys think in the live chat? You guys want us to do a 6 o'clock show before kickoff? Just hang out, laid back. Although this podcast is becoming very laid back. We used to be serious. Now I just goof off and have fun with you guys for an hour. No comment. Lonnie says yes. He's going to be eating deer meat. Wookie's Gone Wild is here.
Yeah, Wookie's here. Yeah,
I saw somebody talking about him.
He said he got out of school. He just got out of class or something. But yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm thinking I'm gonna be grilling some steaks.
Ooh, man, that's what I had for dinner tonight was a steak and baked potato. I'm so full I can't breathe. I put it out on Twitter at Boogie Bentley if you want to see it.
I mean,
perfectly seared. Oh God, it was good.
That's the only good thing to look forward to on football Saturdays is eating. You know, I mean, we don't have anything to look forward to.
James Gentry, I don't personally know anything, but I do listen to Joe Rogan, so that's where I get my education from. All right, a lot of guys want us to tailgate. We'll do the pre-show at 6. We'll hang out for 45 minutes or so, and then we'll do the post-game show immediately following the game. Once again, if any of you guys are into wrestling, want to check out the wrestling show, you can do that tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
Who are you doing that with, Boogie?
Antonio Bryce, writer, creator of the comic book brand, which you can pick up on Indiegogo, and also Yul Carter, who is a comic book shop owner in California that listens to Comic Cast, but he's a lifelong wrestling fan.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was Wade Adams.
Yeah, James Gentry, you can see I'm celebrating Sober October with Joe Rogan.
You gonna have Ricky Morton on there anytime soon?
Did you see that he won the World Tag Team Championships?
Yes, I saw. I woke up this morning and saw
63 years old, dude. 63 years old. That's awesome. All right. That's going to wrap it up for Vols JP, for Dauber Greer. My name is Boogie Bentley, and I just got one thing left to say, and that is go Big Orange.
Jack Kerouac, he drank himself to death in New England, and I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move on without him. The songs howl like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls on broken plastics in undated ore that we call home. And it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. Black and white headlights pierce the coals, blazing arrows, burning me to the marrow. But fire brings peace as well as it brings fear. You're the only thing I hear, and I want that. The songs howl like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls on broken plastics inundated ore that we call home. And it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. The dogs howl like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit smashed, broken in the sea. When we wake up each cold morning and the birds sing their warning song.